Stop getting excited.
Nice, 209.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome. Glad you could join us here on 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. Next to me, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Moments away, it'll be the Chicago Bulls going up against the Boston Celtics in Boston.
We are live from Boston for an Eastern Conference contest with the Celtics. With Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and before we get going, let's get... Thank you, David. Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old?
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. You know, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You know, you're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. So you got to do workouts. This is all new to me, on top of still going to high school, trying to, you know, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
Let's check out Chicago's starting lineup. Bledsoe is out there with Dwayne Wade. Then it's DJ Warren. Then there's Jackson. And it's Adams. And at the pivot spot, Manning the middle. Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal.
Oh, this is ugly already.
Say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, to walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed in which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up here together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic, because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, if you got to pull them, if you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. That's right. And he knocks down the first one. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, you know, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, you know, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, you know, coming home through the weekends. You know, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. You know, I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it and for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who have been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Bulls moving the ball around. Gasol with the steal. Here's Rozier, guarded by Bledsoe, and that one drops for him.
Yeah, I like the concentration there. Isaac showing how skilled he is on the block. Feels like no one can stop him.
And Kev, you had a voice in where you'd go from Minnesota. How did all that play out?
I sat with my wife, and we all kind of went through it and thought Boston was the best situation. Paul and I had great bones and great history that I don't think the world really knew. We have been knowing each other since 14, 15. I played with each other younger, and I had a chance to play with Cole, but that really didn't go through. A lot of people don't know I had a chance to play with Steve Nash also, but I wanted to play with Stoudemire, and that wasn't the case. So I decided to go to Boston. Ray and I knew each other from South Carolina. And then, the Rondo piece was a huge piece for me. I had followed the youngster in his first year and just watched his growth a little bit, even though I was in the Western Conference. And then when I got to Boston, I knew they had good pieces like Kendrick Perkins and Tony Allen. I wasn't aware of the Big Baby piece yet. And then I wasn't sure on the Posey part. And then all of a sudden it started to come together, Eddie House, and then all of this. And
great names.
Great names. Just all alphas, all guys able to stand up and speak for themselves and be articulate and, all different facets and, very similar facets of who we are personality-wise. And a lot of people just don't know that team there, I don't think another coach could have coached that team other than Doc Rivers.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Now the pass to DeRozan. And a big pounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Do. Brian Dew, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. Pass to Isaac. Now the feed to DeRozan. DeRozan against Wade. He dishes it to Bledsoe. Back to Wade. There's the lob to Jackson, and stolen by Harris. DeRozan in the corner. To the inside. And there's Gasol. That's good on the assist from DeRozan. Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. Outside Gasol. Feeds to DeRozan. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Rozier. No good on that one. Good D by Bledsoe.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Adams with it. Gasol covering. No good from Bledsoe.
And extending the D there, putting a lot of pressure on the shooter.
Yeah, because you're spread out. It can be difficult to contest these shots, but not for him.
From 10 feet out, and a little luck that time, but it drops. DeRozan's got 5 now. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen,
very much so.
Shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right, we definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. You know, I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord, y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Dwayne Dedmon's checked in for Gasol. Anderson comes in for Isaac. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for Rozier. Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
You know, Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I could tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here. To the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple things on defense. Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special. And that's how that felt.
And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute, I'll tell you that. Man, a thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
we're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Keep that between you.
Okay. Allen's checked in for Harris. And Rubio kicks to Allen. DeRozan against Crawford. The second effort. And DeRozan lays it in. DeRozan's got 9.
Tough effort right there on the glass. Those second chance points can pay off in a big way.
Crawford passes to Fareed. DeRozan against Rose. Crawford kicks to Van Vliet. They set the pick. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Crawford, no one around him. And a miss there on the triple. Boston's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. So you continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud, okay? I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things: the game, The fun of life.
Right.
And you capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it. So, hopefully it shows.
The Celtics shooting their 4th attempt at the free throw line right here. We'll see if they want to trade 2 for 1 here.
Got to time up that clock to do so.
Pass to Van Vliet. Rose against DeRozan. Bender kicks to Rose. From the arc. The rebound by Anderson. The Celtics with the lead. Pass to Rubio. Back to Anderson. Right side, DeRozan over Rose. And it's in. Oh, wow, he nails the buzzer beater.
Great awareness of the clock to end the quarter.
I like that. Even though he's in a hurry, he still remains under control.
And so it's DeMar DeRozan making highlights for the Boston Celtics. They kept going to him again and again, and he delivered with a monster quarter. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, we know what Derrick Rose has been through, the injuries, the expectations. And we asked him how he's dealing with all of it.
I got a clear mind when I play. I can't think about the past. I can't think about if I'm a...
Colin Rose says no pressure, but I have to feel like there's at least a little bit, guys, of pressure to get back to where he was.
Yeah, I mean, league MVP in 11, once considered a cornerstone for the NBA's youth movement. What we find out now after dealing with the adversity is, does he have the heart and drive?
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And the Celtics, guys, what jumps out to you, stats-wise?
Getting high percentage looks, wearing down that defense on the inside.
Right, and as the defense collapses, that opens up inside-out opportunities. Productive first quarter.
In a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. So the Bulls 5 right now. We've got Crawford. Kenneth Faried is out there with Bender. Then there's Derrick Rose. And it's Van Vliet in at the point. Crawford kicks to Van Vliet. Dishes it to Faried. There's Crawford with the 3. Allen with the rebound.
Look, it would be a huge boost for them if he could start knocking these down.
Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in. I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, I only know one way to
go
accomplish
at it with
something.
gusto, right?
You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. Not going to go that time. Some solid defense from Faried. And KG, you're retired from the game now, and you're stepping into the broadcast business a little bit now, aren't you?
You see me?
You
know what? Area 21 is something that is authentic. It's me. I'm having a great time watching the games. It's really cool being a fan now. I can root for people I want to root for. I don't have to worry about prepared and who I'm a guard and I'm getting the tea. So you know what? It's a great time. It's work. It's not just you go on there and you have a bunch of fun. We actually get some things done, but we have a great time, man.
You're an actor.
Hey, Kev, listen, watching you, being around you, man, the great, rest in peace to Craig, Ernie, Charles, all these great influences, man, has definitely helped. Not just me, but our younger generations of broadcasters, man. It's totally, I didn't see this being my lane, but I'm having fun with it.
Doing a great job.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
DeRozan dishes to Rubio. Kevin, you were a mainstay All-Star Week. You've seen everything there. If it were up to you, would you make any changes in All-Star Week in the events and the way everything is kind of carried out? You've went to so many.
I have. And you know what? Each city gives you a true essence of its own identity. I would like to see each city get a chance to host, regardless of if it's big enough or not. I think that each city has the ability to host. I think each city...
if you're with the family, then you should be able to host in the family, right?
Well, not only that, but just think about what All-Star is, man. It's an event. It's a family event. And each city wants to be able to show you their best thing about their city.
And Ricky Rubio is such a unique player, one of the league's most intuitive playmakers. Defense is right there, but can you win in this league with a point guard who cannot create his own offense?
Listen, first off, shout to Rick DeRue. That's my dude, man. No better point guard in our league when it comes to understanding pace. If you want a point guard who's rugged, who's going to fight for everything on every play, what he lacks in other things, he makes up in effort.
Well said.
A lot of times, man, I'm not going to take the most skillful. I'm going to take the one with the most heart. I'm going to take the one with the most grit. And you know what? At the end of the day, he's going to have the most heart to take that big shot. Shout to Rick DeRue, man. That's my dude. Shout to Rick DeRue.
And it's Rose penetrating. 3-on-3. Picked away. In transition, here come the Bulls. That's it, and the Celtic lead is cut down to just 2 points on the bucket from Van Vliet.
Well, I like that he shows no hesitation there.
Yeah, while he's taking off, no one on the other side reacts. They give up the easy points.
And that replay presented by Under Armour, showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another Unleash Chaos moment. He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. And he's on his way to the free throw line.
Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. The D had better start buckling now.
And a new group in for the Celtics. Marcus Gasol is checked in for Dwayne Dedmon. Isaac comes in for Allen. Harris is checked in for Anderson. And it's Rozier in for Ricky Rubio. Adams. And he comes off the screen to bury the jump shot. Adams has got his first basket of the night. And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, you know, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
You know, those are great coaches. I've had a very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, you know, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You know, you open up yourself to try to, you know, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, you know, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you're very cordial. And, you know, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, you know, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had a chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil's super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, you know, shout to Doc. And, you know, I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay connected, stimulated. He would always tell us, man, never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on DeMar DeRozan. That is his first foul of the game. DeRozan against Wade. Adams sets the pick for Warren. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? How would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest, and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
kicks to Bledsoe. Just 5 to shoot. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Bledsoe's got 7 points. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition, too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to the spacing that we had.
I did, and I'd like to say that, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
One shot.
That's good from Harris. Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every challenge?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. Screen by Adams. Here's Bledsoe. And Gasol sends it back. 3-on-3. Here's Rozier. Up again. And it's D. Wade with the rebound. Wade's got rebound number 5 here tonight. He kicks to Adams. Now the dish to Bledsoe. Screen by Adams. Bledsoe passes to Adams. And a great assist by Bledsoe as that one goes in. And it's 6 points for Steven Adams. Rozier kicks to DeRozan. There's the pick. Over Wade. Off the left rim and out.
He gets some extra attention from the D on that trip, and it throws a shot off.
Warren dishes to Bledsoe. Outside Jackson. He feeds it to Warren. "11 feet away. The shot comes out, and the Celtics going the other way now. This game coming on the heels of their win against Toronto.
And I love the fact that they did such a good job of really reacting to what the defense was giving them.
All about IQ, you're right. They made smart in-game adjustments. I mean, they seemed a step ahead all night. Well, it's nice to have an option like him every time down the court.
First personal foul.
Boston shooting their 7th free throw attempt here.
And you really got to give them a ton of credit for what they've done at the free throw line this season. How about 82% as a unit?
The pass to Bledsoe. .135 left to play in the first half. Now, here's Wade. D right on him. That one's in there. The Boston lead is cut down now to just 2 points with that basket from Adams.
He just looks more engaged this second quarter. A far cry from his disappointing play in the first period.
KG, I have to say, a pleasure to have you with us here tonight, providing your great insight and intellect into these broadcasts. Thanks so much for being with us on the show, and I hope you come by again.
Man, can't hold anytime you need me, man. You let me know, man. I'm yours, man. You know what it is.
The great, the champion, Kevin Garnett. What a treat it is, Greg, to have KG with us. Always offers so much insight. Played the game for an amazing 21 seasons.
Yeah, you know, when he first entered the league, everybody was wowed by the athleticism. But what became more apparent really early on were the instincts for which he had for the game. And that's what he brings, I feel like, to the broadcast.
Shoots off the screen, and he can't bank that one in. Celtics leading by 4. Pass to Rozier. There's the feed to Gasol. Shoots over Adams. It's Gasol missing.
Just not there from a rhythm standpoint right now. It's really eluding him.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Bledsoe passes to Adams. Back to Bledsoe. It's rebounded by Gasol. Gasol's got 8 rebounds in this game. Here's Rozier. The Celtics have gone 5 of 7 from the free throw line in the game. The first free throw is good. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Both free throws good from DeRozan. Rose. That one, no good. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Boston on top, up by 6. Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime, so we'll be back in just...
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. DeMar DeRozan putting in some serious work for the team tonight. He had 32 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. Multiple times we saw the bench cheering him on in the first 2 quarters of this one. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
What impressed me and continues to impress me is how much DeRozan has improved. A volume shooter who maintains efficiency with a high free throw rate and tremendous in isolation. Not many guys can stop him one-on-one, and we saw that in the first half.
And Shaq, what'd you think about Chicago?
The three-point shot has really, really helped.
And that will wrap.
A lot going on there as we welcome you back to Boston. That shot taken from the observation deck at the Prudential Center. Well, we see so many of the... players, Chris, in the NBA. Reach notoriety very early in their careers, sometimes even while they're still in high school. What was it like growing up as a star athlete and all the hype that surrounds it? You were the #1 high school player in the country coming out.
Well, you have to stay focused. You know, I didn't grow up in this era of social media and everything. I can only imagine that pressure now, but really you have to stay focused. You have to realize that you're just in the middle of your goal. You're not a celebrity or a star yet, no matter how good you are on that level. Everybody in the NBA has been the best player on their team at some point in time, so things are going to even it out. You have to stay focused, stay goal-oriented in school and in sports, and hopefully the best things will happen. And if you're lucky, like I was, you have some real good people around you, whether family or friends.
Yeah, good mentors, right? That's got to be important.
Yeah, you definitely got to have good mentors, whether it's coaches that can encourage you to spend all your time on the court, or whether it's friends and family that encourage you to stay focused and not kind of get caught up with others that may not have a focus or a love or a passion right now. So you just really need good people. It takes a village, and for guys that are feeling so much fame and getting so many accolades at such a young age, it's hard to handle as an adult. Just imagine trying to handle that as a kid. So you definitely need a lot of good people around you in your corner to help you succeed in life.
Tobias Harris is out there with Isaac. Then it's DeRozan. Then it's Marc Gasol. And it's Rozier in at the point guard. That's the group for Brad Stevens getting going here in the second half.
They're doing work here in the second half. 3 or 4 to start.
He dishes it to DeRozan. Pass to Isaac. And Gasol with the dunk.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much elevation for Gasol to throw one down, of course, unless somebody's standing right in his way. That dunk is going to be easy money for him.
Feeds to Jackson. Adams outside. Bledsoe kicks to Wade. 6 on the shot clock. Fader on the way. Here's Adams, and the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I tell you what, it's like football, having a 3rd and 13 and them running up the gut. It just frustrates the defense. You have to hate giving up second chance points. It's demoralizing. After basically, I mean, you had to stop.
And blocked. That one goes careening off the glass. Jackson with it. Gasol covering. Jackson kicks to Bledsoe. Warren a screen on DeRozan. Wade with no one around. And it's Wade again missing. Celtics leading by 4. Pass to Harris. Here's Rozier for the 3. And Marc Gasol with the 3. Gasol's got 9 points in the quarter.
I mean, that's just tremendous, stupendous work from Rozier. I mean, he's just so good at zipping the ball over to his teammates.
Outside Jackson. Passes it to Bledsoe. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. The Celtics have gotten 4 of their first 5 second-half shots to fall. 80% since the break. Here's DeRozan. Chicago grabs the miss. Warren's got 5 rebounds tonight. Dishes to Bledsoe. Kicks to Jackson. He feeds it to Warren. Jackson setting the pick here for Bledsoe. Shot, high post. Will not go. This is off the front iron. The Celtics with the lead. And the pass to Rozier. Outside DeRozan. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. T.J. Warren picks one up.
And really, DeMar DeRozan is a master at what he calls body hunting. That ability to just kind of draw fouls. I think he and James Harden actually are the guys that have really kind of set the tone for how to create those opportunities to get to the line.
Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Chicago.
And that's the norm for him. He's pretty much automatic when he's at the line.
Off the pick. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. Bledsoe's got his 3rd assist on the night.
Artful use of the screen there. Gains the separation he needs for a good look.
And DeMar DeRozan, always, Greg, among the league leaders in free throw attempts.
And when you look at him, 6'7", 220 pounds with tremendous athleticism, he has got all the tools. Beyond, though, that attack mentality, he's a savvy basketball player. Those little shot fakes, his footwork, help this guy live at the line.
Warren dishes to Bledsoe. There's a good screen. Back to Warren. And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way. And just who is providing all the playmaking here tonight? Let's look at the breakdown between the front and back court for the Bulls.
This backcourt is really shouldering the load in terms of the ball movement and great assists. When you look at the overall contributions compared to the bigs, nice work on distributing the ball.
DeRozan against Crawford. It's DeRozan with the drive. Good D by Bledsoe.
allowing no space for the shooter to get comfortable. Just terrific defense.
Yeah, that won't go in the stat sheet. Close to getting the block, but really it had the same effect.
And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. Celtics making a switch here. Rubio's checked in. Fareed's checked in for the Bulls. Chris, sometimes when a player is feeling it, in that rhythm, in that groove, there's nothing you can do to slow him down. Is there a player in the league right now who you feel is the deadliest when things are really falling right for him?
I mean, James Harden. How about this guy? Now that he's getting other guys involved, he's so much harder to guard because you don't know if he's going to pass it, ending up in a successful assist, or if he's just going to knock it down in your face. And his range is just so incredible. You do not want to let that man get hot. Also, of course, we know Curry. You better not let him get hot because he'll do some incredible things. And then his teammate, his boy, his partner, Klay Thompson. I mean, just the way that these guys shoot is just so fun to watch. So, I mean, these guys, when you talk about deadly from anywhere, anytime, you got to guard these guys like they used to say when they get in the parking lot. Not when they get in the arena. You got to start guarding them in the parking lot because they can score at any time.
Bledsoe passes to Warren, and a great assist by Bledsoe. There's the pick.
Got a quiet confidence about him, doesn't he, guys? Is coming.
Crawford kicks to Bledsoe. The 15-footer. Celtics leading by 5. Rubio dishes to Harris. And that one drops for him. And that's now 7 points for Tobias Harris.
But you got to respect how much Harris hustles out there. He earns every rebound he gets.
Bledsoe passes to Warren. Fareed outside. Here's Adams. It's Chicago with another bucket.
I like the bounce pass there. He's getting creative.
For Boston, they've gone 7 of 13 in the third quarter so far, just above 50%. They set the pick, and the call is going to be, yes, it is, an illegal screen.
Well, with 4 turnovers, I won't be surprised if he finds himself on the bench very soon.
Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for Isaac. And the Bulls making a change also. Van Vliet's checked in. Screen by Fareed. Unloads from 13. That one a little long.
The inside just a bit too congested for him to get the usual shot he would have with rhythm.
Rozier kicks to Rubio. Gasol setting the pick for Rubio. And Adams sends it back. Here's Van Vliet, covered by Rubio. Foul on the play, basket counts, so it'll be a 3-point play chance.
Important points there. Got him on a nice play, getting the ball inside and right to the bucket.
Some changes for Boston. Dwayne Dedmon's checked in for Gasol. And Allen subbed in for Harris. Chicago also making some changes. Bender, he's checked in for Steven Adams. And it's Rose in for Warren. Anderson, a screen on Crawford. Here's the screen. Here's Rozier. He's covered by Rose. Now here's Rose, the fast break opportunity. And Rose throws it down hard.
And this is what Rose brings to the table. When he gets out in the open court, he doesn't take his foot off that pedal.
That was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Pass to Rozier. 6 to shoot. Allen with the screen for Anderson. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It's going to go on Dragan Bender. Chris, we all know you were a big Pistons fan growing up, and of course that means that you had plenty of chances to root against the Chicago Bulls. When you go back and you think about when you were young, was there one Bulls player that you loved to hate, so to speak?
You know, a little secret, I always cheered for Detroit, but I never hated the Bulls. Isaiah and Jordan were my favorite players. That's a little bit of a cop-out along with Magic, Bird, Dominique. But no. I really loved Artis Gilmore as well coming before. But no, I really can't say I had a player on the Bulls that I didn't really like.
Both free throws good from Anderson. And Chris, as your career progressed, your free throw shooting percentage jumped up about 20 points higher than when you started. That's not the case for a lot of players. Just how hard is it for a big man to improve their free throw shooting throughout their career?
Okay, that's probably one of the things I'm proudest of, is that I have a record from going from worst to that best improvement, and I worked out hard. I had a shooting coach, Buzz. We worked out every summer. I would take him everywhere with me, Kev. I mean,
really?
I would take this guy to the club, to the church, to a restaurant, he'd have to wait outside the bathroom. Everywhere I went that summer, I wanted him, with me, because you have to focus and concentrate on it. You think about it, you have to change not only your mental habits, your repetition, but your thought process. So step one is figuring out that shot. Step two is how many repetitions. Step three is, can you get that in game time atmosphere? You really can't unless you punish yourself in the summer with running. So if you have to do a suicide every one you miss, or it just was just so much work and intensity on it, because you have to build up so much trust. Because the reason why guys shoot bad free throws, they don't trust it. They shoot a different way every time. And it was fun becoming better at that, but that's probably one of the toughest things I've ever done, was get better at shooting free throws, because the concentration and the time allowed it to try to improve.
Rozier kicks to Anderson, and the Celtics hit again from deep.
And that's how you answer back.
Trading bombs the last two possessions. They're going that way.
Crawford outside. Passes it to Van Vliet. Rose kicks to Fareed. Just 5 to shoot. There's the dish to Rose. And a miss there on the triple. Celtics leading by 5. Rubio, the pass to Anderson. Back to Rubio. He kicks it to Dedmon. To the inside. It's stolen by Rose. And it's Bender, top of the key. Now the feed to Crawford. He dishes it to Rose. The shot's good.
And you love to see Rose aggressively looking to score on the inside.
Boston's gone 3 of 5 with the long ball since entering the second half. Rubio outside. With some arc, it's tipped, and it turns out it's going to be a foul. He was hoping for a clean block, but the officials felt otherwise, so we'll see some free throws here. Just 4 seconds left in the third. And Rose, wide open. He shoots. The basket good off the assist from Wade. Wade's got 4 assists now tonight. The third quarter comes to a close. Celtics lead by 4. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in just a moment. Moments ago from the huddle, let's listen in on head coach Fred Hoiberg.
Keep competing, guys. Keep competing. Hey, we made the...
All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. And here are the Bulls now. Their next game, playing at home, is the Nets coming to town. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. On the court for the Bulls, getting this fourth quarter started. Kenneth Fareed is out there with Bender. Then there's Dwayne Wade. Then there's Derrick Rose. And it's Van Vliet in at the 1.
My goodness, how about the degree of difficulty on that shot?
Rubio dishes to Dedmon. Feeds it to Allen. Kicks it to Anderson. Allen, a screen on Wade. Back to Allen, and Allen slams it in.
Oh, just solid on the one-handed slam.
And guys, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball. Outside Rose. And it's Wade in the corner. Dishes to Bender. Tries a three. Rebound Boston. Outside DeRozan. We played just over 1 minute here in the fourth quarter. Looking for Allen, he gets it there. And the shot is good. Now it's a 6-point Boston lead.
And the D not really doing its job there. A little slow to react to the ball getting into the paint.
Wade against Anderson. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Rose kicks to Fareed. He feeds it to Wade. Back to Fareed. They set the pick. The Bulls need to get a shot off here. Nice job coming off that screen.
And that was the play to make. Rose making the right read.
Boston leading by 3. Anderson the screen. DeRozan against Rose. And DeRozan. Here we go. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. It goes on Kenneth Fareed. Isaac's checked in for Boston. Chicago also making some changes. Steven Adams, he's checked in for Dragan Bender. And it's Jackson in for Derrick Rose.
At the line, 1 shot.
Shooting 1.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
Bulls trail by 6. Wade kicks to Fareed. Here's Van Vliet, covered by Rubio. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
At the line, Bulls. Friendly. Taking 2 shots.
Two shots.
First one falls for him. He hits both from the stripe. Well, for the Celtics, their trade with the Nets is the gold standard for asset hunting. But a lot of smaller deals along the way, fortifying their roster.
Yeah, they ended up with the top pick this past year. Though they traded out of it, I mean, have a good chance to even get more top picks. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Isaac, great positioning on the putback. And the Celtics lead by 6.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Screen by Fareed. Here's Van Vliet. It's Dedmon with the rebound. Dedmon's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Here's Isaac. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. And it's an 8-point Celtic lead.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
Jackson setting the pick here for Adams. Screen by Fareed. Van Vliet passes to Wade. Jackson a screen on Anderson. And there's the foul. It's on Dwayne Dedmon. That'll be his second foul of the game. Marcus All checked in for the Celtics. Tobias Harris comes in for Kyle Anderson. Chicago making a switch here. Wade outside. There's the pick. There's the pass to Bledsoe. Screen by Adams. Just 3 to shoot. Count it, and the Celtic lead has been cut down to just 6 points with the basket from Eric Bledsoe.
If you're going in amongst the trees, you have got to be aggressive.
Well, look, when you're giving up that type of height, you use your quickness. It's just that simple. And it's also a matter of skill.
Wade against DeRozan.
And for many years, the Chicago Bulls were viewed as a model franchise. Always were competitive and in the hunt for a title. But this current version just can't escape turmoil from within.
Will be at the line shooting